Assalamu alaikum. Muhammad's Sunday Lectures, brought to you by the Nation of Islam, Muhammad's Temple Unite. This Sunday's lecture will be brought to you by Brother Minister Haq Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum. In the most holy name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, who came to us, the black man and woman of America, in the divine person of Master W.D. Farad Muhammad, and in the name of his divine messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I greet our listeners, our viewers, in the greeting words of peace and paradise in the Arabic language. Once again, Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, welcome to our Sunday lectures, presented to you by Muhammad's Temple of Islam United. We, the brothers and sisters of the Nation of Islam, thank you for taking this opportunity from whatever you're doing to listen to us this afternoon. And we'll be with you for a few minutes, and we ask that you be patient. Call a friend, call a neighbor, call a relative, and say, Sunday Lectures is on. The Sunday Lectures are active. And invite them to come and listen to us. Whenever we start any of our lectures, we always open up with a prayer, asking Allah to bless us with a successful meeting. So brothers, follow me silently in the Muslim opening prayer. We pray, whatever God you pray to, join us. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Master of this day of judgment in which we now live. Thee alone do we serve, and thee alone do we beseech for aid. Guide us along the right path, along the path of those who thou hast bestowed favors, but not along the path of those whom thy wrath is brought down, nor on those who go astray after they've heard thy teachings. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Master Farad Muhammad is indeed Allah in person. And I bear witness that he taught, that he raised up a messenger for us, the black man and woman of America, whose teachings is possible that can raise nations all over the world. I mean, brothers and sisters, thank you again for being with us this afternoon. We have a subject that we're not going to be long. We just want to kind of give you something to eat, something to chew on, and something to digest. Our subject is, the dead must rise. I repeat that again. The dead must rise. What do you mean, Brother Minister, the dead must rise? We're going to get into that for a few minutes. But before I do that, I want to talk to you about health. You know, whatever we eat could keep us here, keep us healthy, keep us vibrant, give us longevity. And on the other hand, whatever we eat in the wrong way at the wrong time could take us out. So, brothers and sisters, I impress upon you to eat better, Because if you are aware, many of our people are dying all around us. I bet each and every one of you can name a friend, a relative, or even a child that has died under the age of 60, not because many times that they're not trying to do the right thing, but they are eating wrong. Of course, you cannot negate the fact that maybe they have developed cancer, or they have some kind of respiratory disease, or some kind of ailment that they couldn't fight off. But most of the time, it is what we eat, when we eat, and how we eat. So the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I always say to you, if you don't listen to anything that I have to say this afternoon, at least listen to the fact that this man gave us a dietary law, which we find in his book called How to Eat to Live. The first thing that you must stop eating is that swine, better known as pig feed. New Year's is coming up. And in New Year's, most black people eat chitlins. Chitlins is guts from the pig. Chitlins are the guts of the pig. You need to stay away from pig. Hog maw, chitlins, pig feet, pigtails. Every part of the pig is eaten, from its tail to its snout. I live in a place called Coney Island. And we have a restaurant out here called Nathan's. And if you're from New York City, everybody goes to Nathan's to eat. It stays open almost 24 hours. And if you go there and order what is called mountain oysters, remember that name, that word, mountain oysters. You know what that is? That's the hog's testicles. Sorry for being so vulgar, but that's what people eat. Number one, stay away from the pork, okay? But then you have to not eat those things that are detrimental to your health. You got to learn when to eat. You should eat as much fruits and vegetables as possible, okay? Pork is considered the divinely prohibited flesh. It is found in the Bible that pork, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, the pig that you eat is made up of cats, rats, and dog, all combined together that make up what we know today as the hog, the pig. It is found in the book of Isaiah. Read it. Don't just take my word. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 17, it talks about the mouse that is indicated and that it is divinely prohibited. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the mouse or the rat, it makes up the pork. Read it for yourself. Some of you are going to be celebrating Christmas. Right now, the followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we are abstaining from eating during the daylight hours during the month of December. In the Muslim world, they call that Ramadan, but that's observed during what is called the lunar calendar. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because of what we experience here in America as black people, he has advised us, prescribed for us to eat, or do not eat, I should say, in the month of December, to refrain from eating during the daylight hours until sundown during the month of December. Why? Because our people celebrate a false holiday called Christmas. Jesus, the one that you say is the Savior to the world, and that's coming back after 2,000 years, was not born on December 25th. impossible. He was not born on December 25th. And he had nothing to do with what you know today as Christmas. Jesus was not a Christian. If you read the Bible from Genesis to Revelations, you will find nowhere in that book, in the Bible, and we believe in parts of the Bible, not all of it, but you will not find anywhere in the Bible that Jesus said he was a Christian. Talk to us. You Christian scholars, you Christian believers, you Christian observers, whatever religion you are in the Christian realm, you will not find anywhere where Jesus said he was a Christian. You cannot find anywhere that Jesus said he was a Methodist, even though he believed in the method of truth. You will not find where he said he was a Methodist. You cannot find where he said that he was a Catholic, even though he believed in the gospel and he taught the gospel. But you cannot find that he said that he was a Catholic. You didn't see nowhere that he said that he was a Baptist, even though he was baptized by John the Baptist, as they say, in the river of Galilee. But he never said he was a Baptist. You will not find that the disciples said they were Christians. Jesus didn't know anything about a Christmas tree. He didn't know anything about Santa Claus. He didn't know anything about little crystal balls and draping of the tree. He didn't know anything about that. He has to connect that with that is wrong. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, out of our respect for our prophet Jesus, the one you said is the Savior to the world, we refrain from eating during the daylight hours because we respect that man so greatly. We fast, we don't eat during the daylight hours. And in fact, that's nothing for us, because the Muslims eat one meal a day. The followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we only eat one meal a day, so that's not really a fast for us. And also by us, which the fast of December, which we call Ramadan, which means intense heat, it allows us to cleanse our bodies from all the junk we eat, because we love to snack. We love to eat, Oreo cookies and some chicken wings and a slice of pizza. We eat that all day long. That's not good. So it gives us a time and a chance to cleanse all the poisons, because the foods we eat are full of poisons, and we're able to cleanse our body. Also, another property that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad saved us from by fasting in the month of December is that we don't go out and buy all of these toys and go into debt. You know how people go into debt during this month? People lose their homes. People max out their credit cards just to buy gifts for one day that had nothing to do with Jesus. You know who makes the money? While you be saying jingle bells, the white man is jingling his cash register with the money that you spent. I remember as a little boy, my mother told us one year we can't get anything for Christmas. I was so upset. I was crying. I said, Ma, you got to go to the loan shark. Y'all know what the loan shark is. We had a man that came in the black community by the name of Benny the Loan Shark. Benny would be jingling chains in his pocket. And my mother would go out and borrow money from the loan shark. And my mother sometimes couldn't pay the rent because we wanted to have Christmas. That is crazy. I apologized to my mother after I got older. So we save thousands of dollars by not shopping during this holiday because they up the prices. You go in the store to buy a gift, you come out. You wanted to buy one gift, you come out, and you got about 20 gifts. And lastly, this is for our people and this is for the Muslims too. If you're overweight, if you're fat, then this is the time for help you lose weight. Okay? And if you got a little stomach, you 50, 60 pounds overweight, this is the time for you to balance out your weight according to your height. And this is for the brothers and the sisters in the Nation of Islam and outside the Nation of Islam. It'll help us with our weight. And I know our sisters too. I know many of you are a little overweight. You know, some of the black men, we like fit women. I don't want me a fit girl. It's not good health. And you sisters, according to what some of the health experts say and the the people that study the physiological makeup of the human being, they said women retain water quicker than men, and their metabolisms are different from the men. So when you have a child, and after you have that birth happens, you retain a lot of the stuff, and you get heavy, and you're breathing hard. So sisters, we want you to look good. We don't want you to be fat. We want you to look firm and beautiful as you always are. So we have to eat well, brothers and sisters, because the foods that we eat are killing us. We have 9 systems in our body. 9 systems in the human body. Bear with me a minute there, brothers and sisters. We have the respiratory system, and if we eat the right foods, we can breathe. We have the endocrine system. When you eat something, it has to break the food down. It has to go into your mouth with your saliva, and it has to be food that is wholesome and clean. We have the skeletal system, which is the bones in our body. There's calcium in your bones, but you have to eat the right food to enhance and strengthen your bones, your skeletal system. You have the urinary system. I was a parole officer for many years, and I used to have to take the urine from some of the black men. Their urine was so dark, looked like Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola. That's because their urine was filled with toxic waste in the stuff that they were eating. That's why we suffer from kidney failure. Many black men. Okay? Then you have the digestive system. It takes, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us in his great book, How to Eat to Live, it takes 24 hours, sometimes 48 hours, depending on what you're eating, to digest a meal. But if you're eating all day, you're eating all night, your body is constantly working, and you only have one stomach, okay? There are cells in our body that reproduce itself. You can get a broken arm, it could heal. You can get a cut on your arm, or you can get a cut on your leg, and that will heal. The replication of the cells will heal, but not the stomach. Once that stomach is gone, unless you get some surgery and replace your stomach. So once you're eating all day and you're tearing your stomach apart, you're not an animal. You can't eat the stuff that cows and horses and lions and tigers eat. The stomach is very delicate. Before we came and were captured and brought to America in slave ships, in many other countries that we lived in as black people, we were vegetarians. We ate the fruits from the trees, the vegetation. You have the circulatory system, where your blood has to circulate. But if your blood is poisoned, it's dirty, it's circulating. This is why you get blood clots. It's like anything. You have a car. Some of us take care of our cars better than we take care of our bodies. You pay hundreds of dollars to have your oil changed. Your car is serviced. They rotate the wheels. But when's the last time you were at a hospital or a doctor's office to cleanse your oil in your body, which is called the blood, or to rotate whatever you need to rotate in order for you to be healthy? So, brothers and sisters, take care of yourself. I'll get off that for now. I know you're saying, man, get off of that. I want to go get me some cupcakes. It's Christmas. But all right, the dead must rise. What do you mean the dead must rise? Who is the dead that must rise? Both the Bible and the Holy Quran teaches about the resurrection of the dead. The Bible calls it Judgment Day, where Christians believe that on a particular day, on Judgment Day, all those that were dead in the grave will rise up from the grave and begin to walk the earth again. I think some of us have been watching The Walking Dead too long. That's not going to happen, brothers and sisters. In all of Islam, as taught to us by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the messenger of Allah to us, there's never, ever been any history of a man or woman dying and coming back to life. The Christians believe on that Judgment Day that the headstones will roll back and the dead will walk the earth again. Now, where are they going to live? The earth, according to the Christian world, that the earth has been here 6,000 years. That's a Christian world, even though we know it's been here longer than that. According to the archaeologists and the anthropologists, the earth has been here trillions of years. Okay? But if all of those people came back out of the grave that has died, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your friends, where they gonna live? The earth, they said, will be so overcrowded with the rents that's happening. Where they gonna live? Where they gonna be crammed and jammed? So let's reason, brothers and sisters, and understand that the resurrection of the dead, or the dead must rise, has to be something else. In the Muslim world or Holy Quran, they called it the day of Al-Qiyamah, the resurrection. That's found in chapter 75 of the Holy Quran, the resurrection. Some of the other religions of Christian, they call it the great getting up day in the morning. You know, you remember that. But who is this dead that must rise? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in the message to the black man, said that there is no physical resurrection, but there is a mental resurrection. And he said the most people, the people that is most in need of a mental resurrection is the black man and woman of America. Well, how do you know we're dead? How do you determine if someone is dead? If you went to a funeral parlor, take a visit to a funeral parlor, they'll let you go in and look around. Some of you are a little spooky, you get scared. You ever see people that's dead and they rise up? They do that. Some of them defecate on themselves. Their arms will rise up. If you go in a funeral parlor, you might see that. Because they still have nerves in their body that's still reacting as if they were alive. But they're dead. They're dead. But go in there. Look at them. They can't move. They can't do anything for themselves. They have to be moved from one part of the funeral parlor to the other. You can't feed them because they're dead. Look in the black community. How do you know that the black man and woman of America is dead in need to rise from mental death? Look at the trucks that come into our community. They're from white manufacturers of food. If you were alive, you would manufacture your own food. So if you have to depend on the white man to bring food to your community, you're a dead man. You can't move on your own. You can't supply your own need. Okay? I hope everyone is all right so far. Just bear with me a few minutes. Brothers and sisters, we're moving right along. This might have to happen in another segment or part 2. I don't know. Let's see. You live in a house. You live in an apartment building. Some of y'all live in the projects. Some of you own your own home. But who built those homes? Who do you owe your mortgage to? Who do you have to pay rent every month to? You have to pay rent to the owner. If you are alive, if you wasn't a dead man has to depend on someone to move them and take care of them until you're put 6 feet under in the grave. But if you're alive, you wouldn't have to depend on someone to take care of you. You would own your own land. You would own the houses that are on that land, and you will own everything. You would be alive. That is a alive person. So everything in the black community is supplied by someone else. What about all the stores in the community? What if they shut down one day? I remember growing up, and on the Jewish holidays, Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, and all the stores in my community were owned by the Jewish community, owned by the Jewish people. And on those sacred holidays for them, they were shut down for almost a week. We had no stores. My mother used to take me and my brothers and sisters, we would get on the train and go to other communities that wasn't Jewish, and we would have to buy our food. You see that? If you were alive, you wouldn't have to wait for that. In the whole history of Islam, it never reveals that anything or no man has ever been able to come back from physical death. But how come the scriptures talks about the resurrection of the dead? I know all of us want to see our loved ones come back from the dead. I hear people talk about that. And we say, rest in peace. May Allah be pleased. And one day I'm going to see you on the other side. Well, how come when they were alive, you didn't do anything for them? Why you want to wait until they get to the other side and then you're going to see them? The most honorable Elijah Muhammad made it clear. He made it very, very fundamental that your death is a mental death, and that the black man and woman of all the people is in need of a mental resurrection. In 2023, we need to rise up, brothers and sisters. We have to stop depending on someone else to take care of us. We can take care of ourselves. We have the necessary qualifications. You name the discipline. You name the expertise. There's a black man and woman who has mastered it. But because we are dead to the knowledge of God, dead to the knowledge of self, dead to the knowledge, the true knowledge of the devil, then we are depending on someone else We are a dead people waiting for a live white community to take care of us. How do we come alive? If we are dead, how do we come alive? The scripture said the Son of Man breathed into the body and gave life to the dead. Now, who is this Son of Man? Right there is telling you if he's a son of a man, then he had to come to birth. And who is this body that he's breathing into? The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said in 1931, he met a man who introduced himself as W.D. Farad. And he said, after listening to this man, he said he recognized that this man was God in person. You're going to say, oh, a man is God? You cannot find anything in life, anything, I don't care how you do it. You cannot find anything in life that was made, created without the agency of a human being, of a man. Well, you said, what about the sun, the moon, and the stars? Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that was made also by the original people who came with the beginning of time. He said the God that put out the sun, he's no longer here. But his wisdom, his knowledge, his majesty has moved into the line of time, into this one with the knowledge, Master W.D. Farad Muhammad. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he recognized him. Brothers and sisters, we are living in the last days. What do you mean the last days? I'm not talking about the last days of the earth. The earth will abide forever, long before you are dead and gone. But we are living in the last days of the rule of Satan. This is why you see all of this wars and rumors of wars and all this destruction and killing and murdering and all of this confusion, political unrest. People dying in Ukraine. People are dying in Palestine. People dying in Uganda. People are dying in the Congo. People dying in Ethiopia. People are dying all over the world. Men killing men. Women killing women. Son rising up against father. These are the signs of the end of time. What time? The end of the rule of this world. See, a world is not the earth. There are many worlds. Okay? There are many worlds. There's the Christian world or the religious world. There's the financial world. There's the world of entertainment. There's a criminal world. There's all kinds of worlds. There's a cultural world. But the most honorable Elijah Muhammad told us this is the end of the world of wickedness. The end of world of unrighteousness. And that world must make way for the new world. He said the new world of Islam will come through the black man and woman of America. But you brothers and sisters must accept that new world if you want to live. We owe that to our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teachings gives life and light. That's the resurrection. His teachings gives us light and life. But his teachings, the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, gives life to the dead. That light from his teachings raises us up from the dead. And this is why when you see the Muslim, he walks with his head up. He looks like he's know where he's going. His eyes is bright. His teeth are white. His skin is sparkling because there's life and light in us. Don't you want that too, brothers and sisters? We love you. And we want to make sure that you know what we know. But we cannot continue to lie in our graves. Do you know, and I think I mentioned this before, there's only 24 hours in a day. And we sleep 8 hours a day. So the average person sleeps about 50 years if you calculate those 8 hours a day based on us living about 70 or 80 years. So 50 years of your life, you're dead. You're in a grave. You're in a subconscious state. Subconscious, below. But you won't know that you're dead until you get up. Okay? That's the only way you know you're asleep. You are asleep, sometimes you don't dream or you don't remember your dream, but you won't know that you were asleep until after you get up. That's why we say, thank God I got up this morning. Thank God God let me get up this morning, because it's a frightening thing. What about your mental sleep? Your mental death, where you have to rise from that. So our people are walking around, have no idea that they are the walking dead. They think they are alive. Do you know our people that suffered under 300 years of physical slavery? They were more conscious of their condition than we are today. You know why? Because they were aware that they were enslaved. You today in 2023, you're on your video game, you're on TikTok, you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, you're playing the video games, you're listening to music, you're listening to hip hop, R&B. You don't know you're alive. You're in a state of occultation. So you're not really aware. See, our people doing slave, they didn't have all those instruments. So their whole consciousness from day to day was seeking to be free. What is the price of freedom? I would always like to say, the price of freedom is death. I don't mean just physical death. That's the ultimate. I'm talking about death from those things that you live under. The price of freedom is death, because you have to give up those things that you think that motivated you. But the dead must rise. Okay? As I reach my conclusion, brothers and sisters, in the book of Corinthians, chapter 15, verse 21, it said, death came through one man. The book of Corinthians, death came through one man, and the resurrection of the dead must come by one man. I'll repeat that. In the book of Corinthians, chapter 15, verse 21, look it up. Death came through one man. Who was that one man? In the book of Genesis, it said Adam was that man. But Adam represents, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us, of the white race. Death came through that man because he captured us, took us from our homeland, and killed us mentally, He took our names. He took our language. He took our God. He took our religion. He took our mores and folkways and culture and made us and reduced us to almost below the level of an animal. Death came from that one man. Even though there were many men, that one man really means plural. But it said, the resurrection will come by one man. What man is this? God said in the scriptures that he would come to the lost sheep in the house of Israel. And he himself would come. And he would raise up a messenger, a prophet, a warner to us, where no warner has ever come to a people. And that one is the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. February is coming soon, and they call that Black History Month. And if you look at many of the programs, many of the Black History Month celebration, you will not find one group, one organization, one church, one cultural group. They will not talk about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as if he never existed. But we have to promote him. We have to let the world know that this man was here for us. He suffered to bring us the truth. And we won't even mention that he even existed. But as it said, a prophet and messenger is never honored in his own house. He loved black people. Loved us. But the resurrection, it said in the book of Corinthians, will come by one man. That man was an example, and he raised up a people called the Nation of Islam, which is just an example that we could raise from the dead. We were able to do with black people through the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that no other black man was able to do. But we can do it again. We must rise up, brothers and sisters. We must rise up from this dead state of being. Don't crawl back into the grave, because we like to do that. We like to party all night. There's nothing wrong with having a good time. There's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself. But take care of your community. Take care of your life. Take care of your children. We are all we have. There's about 40 million of us, black people in America. We only represent about 12% of the population, but we could be powerful if we just raise up from the dead state. And become a living, live people. We don't want the world laughing at us. They show us on the internet, they laugh at us. They said, look at these niggas here. They dress in all of these fancy clothes and, Gucci and Prada. And, I'm dressed nice, but this is just my wardrobe. I'm at war. This is just my wardrobe. There's nothing wrong with having nice things, but don't worship those things. The dead must rise, and the dead will rise. There is no one day that's coming where we're just going to come up and rise up. It's a process. God always comes to a people. He said he never changes. This is our book, the Holy Quran said, God, Allah, never changes the condition of the people until that people seeks to change the condition of themselves. That's how it works. That's how it works. He will give you the tools. He will give you the necessary information where you can become free and raise yourself from the dead. So, brothers and sisters, I will come to you again at another point with another subject. But this is just, it's to whet your appetite, to let you know that you can rise up. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad had great faith and love for his people. And all he wanted to do is see us as a nation of our own. And we can become a nation of our own if we just listen and accept and embrace what he has given us. You know, we rejected Mr. Muhammad on many levels. We rejected him. Even though he was able to convert thousands of black people who became members of the Nation of Islam. Some said it was 250,000 members of the Nation of Islam. But the whole black nation is really members of the Nation of Islam. But by and large, we rejected this man. He came with a message for us. He's the only man of God that in his time that he was able to write books, he was able to do lectures. You check the scriptures. Many of the prophets and messengers, they didn't see their writings. They didn't see their instructions while they were living. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the only man that saw all of that in his time. And he wanted to do more if he had enough time physically to do that. He had many beautiful plans for us as black people. But he's the only one that. So we have a wealth, we have a treasure of information that this man has left us. All we have to do is take it, consume it, analyze it, and begin to implement what he has given to us. God always does that. But also, when you reject the prophet or messengers, you faced the consequences of your rejection. So, brothers and sisters, I close as I open, and we'll talk about this subject a little more in the future because there's much to be said. But I thank you for taking time to listen to what I had to say. And we will meet again, and there will be other ministers, other representatives coming on, giving you much of the information from the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as I have today. And we want you to make sure you tune in. So thank you again. I hope I didn't say anything that offended anyone. My only desire was to give you the truth. And the truth shall make you free. You know, don't reject the truth. You know, the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is almost like, you know, it's painful sometimes. You know, the truth hurts. You heard that term before. See, his teachings is like a scalpel that the surgeon used. You know, the surgeon cuts and there's blood and there's pain. But the job of the surgeon is to cut out the cancer, to cut out the disease, and proceed to heal that wound that caused the disease, that caused the cancer. And this is what the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad represented. This is why when you hear a Muslim speak, sometimes it's painful to hear. Sometimes you kind of shut your mind away from it. But always accept the truth because, you know, whoever speaks the truth, you have to accept the truth, regardless to whom or what. So again, thank you, brothers and sisters, for listening to me. And I pray, Allah, that we will be able to bring you more of these teachings so we can do something for ourselves. We just can't teach. It has to be action. It has to be work. Okay? So I close as I came to you, and I like to say a prayer, in this particular time that they call the holiday season. It's not really a holiday. The word holly comes from the word holy. Nothing holy about this day. There's more liquor. There's more cocaine. There's more crack. There's more marijuana, reefer. You know what I'm talking about. Weed smoked. You look at some of the liquor stores. Black people are coming out there with cases. We're going to celebrate Christmas. Really, you should be in the church during this period. You're flowering. You're giving your children hundreds of all kinds of toys and gifts and never even talk to them about Jesus. Most of them don't even know anything about Jesus, that this is supposed to be Jesus' birthday. But you giving them all those gifts where you should be concentrating, if you say you believe that this is Jesus' birthday, few of you even go to church. There's more death during this holiday. Some of the times you got those pine trees, which is called Christmas trees in your house. You get drunk, you go to sleep. The tree catches a fire, burn the house down. People die. This is supposed to be a time of prosperity. It would be a beautiful thing if it was real. But there's more corruption. There's more sin during this period than any other time. And there are people that don't have anything. One day we'll get into how this whole Christmas thing came about. And one of our other ministers, Brother Daniel Shabazz, gave you a little inkling of that and how that whole Christmas thing came about. But during this month, that's why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, we refrain. We don't get involved. I don't like this. I don't like this month. I've seen in my community, they were giving these children last week hundreds of toys. They were lined up. I didn't hear one person praise the name of Jesus. Children are more interested and know more about Santa Claus than they do about Jesus. That's terrible. That's crazy, as they say. But let me give a prayer, because I know a lot of things are going to be happening this month. I'd like to close out in a prayer for the prosperity and safety and protection of not only the black man and woman of America, but humanity. Because we're in a hell of a situation. Let us pray. In the name of Allah, who came to us, the black man and woman of America, in the divine person of Master W.D. Farad Muhammad, we thank him for raising up a messenger for us, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. O Allah, we ask for mercy, for we know that you're the ever returning to mercy. O Allah, strengthen our knowledge, our wisdom, and our understanding. Increase our faith. Increase that which we need to survive in this world of the walking dead. We ask for your power of resurrection to raise us up from the dead, and make us a living perpendicular. And O Allah, in this time of judgment, in this time of trouble and confusion and war, we ask that you protect the righteous. If we have fear, if we have doubt, we ask that you remove that from our heart and soul, that we may go fearlessly into this. And oh Allah, in this month, this damnable name called Christmas. We ask that you protect our people and give them the sight to know that this is not the way, that they may see the need for the truth of what has been put on us. And oh Allah, I ask that these commercial bandits, these commercial gangsters of all the big stores, Targets and Best Buy and Gucci and all these sneaker stores, that they get nothing as they go to exploit our people. And that I ask that you wake them up, so maybe in time that they may see the need to rise up from their dead level of ignorance. Protect our families, our children, our grandchildren. And we ask all of this in your name. And of course, in the name of your servant and messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Ameen. Thank you, brothers and sisters. You will get some messages after I leave the screen from one of our brothers who's going to give you some information on how you can be more involved to help us, to help yourself, and how you can become more knowledgeable and receive the truth as we have. And again, I thank you very much, and may Allah bless each and every one of you. Assalamu alaikum.
If you believe what you heard taught today on Islam is true, and you would like to learn more or you are ready to accept and reclaim your own, contact the Lost Foundation of Islam Muhammad's Temple United at 623-312-4352. Again, that's 623-312-4352. We thank you for joining us today, and we ask that you return next Sunday and invite your family and friends. We ask your support so that we may continue to get the truth out to our people. You may contribute by donating through our Cash App at $MT United. That's $MT United.
The Lost and Found Nation of Islam, Muhammad's Temple United, is seeking to unite with all of the believers in temples across the country. If you are a member or a part of a temple, or if you have a temple, contact us and let us unite, one nation under one way of life, Islam as taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Don't see your city or state? Let's change that. Let's unite and put your temple on the map of unity. Let us not come together in unity in belief only, but let us come together and unify as one in practice. The time is now, black man and woman. Your nation awaits you. Assalamu alaikum.